Welcome back to In the Den, a Greenville ISD podcast for a very special episode. Today, we're talking with the class of 2024. Matter of fact, the top of the class of 2024, Valedictorian and Salutatorian. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. What is going on, Lion listeners? We are back in studio today for In the Den, a Greenville ISD podcast. This is your host, Zachary.
And I'm Natalie.
And we are super excited for a very special episode that we have where we are getting to chat with the top of the class of 2024, Valedictorian Michael Adelui and Salutatorian Sebastian Gonzalez. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, it's good to see you guys here. I know that we've got a full episode packed of all kinds of fun questions to ask you guys. I will let you know off the cuff that these guys didn't prepare for any of these, so it will be very genuine. Mm-hmm. We'll get to be able to have some inside scoop on the valedictorian and salutatorian, so we're excited for that.
And it's exciting. We're straight from the Greenville High School campus, and it's going to be a good little conversation that we have this morning.
Mobile studio.
Yes. Let's kick it off. Guys, tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Well, I'll start. I'm Michael Adelui. I've been at Greenville for like my entire life. Mm-hmm. And I started at LP Waters. Then I was a Crockett Eagle. And then now I'm here. In my free time, I like to watch shows with my family and catch up on like some manga and anime sometimes.
Cool.
That's awesome. I'm just like a really big robotics nerd.
Robotics nerd. Yeah. I like to see that. Well, you're at the right high school for that. I want to assure you.
Correct.
I know we'll talk about that a little bit later. Sebastian?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sebastian Gonzalez. I started in Greenville ISD in kindergarten when I was a Crockett Eagle. Went up through the 6th grade center in the middle school, and now I'm here at the high school as a Lion. In my free time, I like to do a lot of things to do with music. I also enjoy baking. Some people don't know that, but I can make a mean apple pie.
Nice.
We'll be the judge
fresh
of that.
Or canned apples?
Fresh. No, everything is fresh, yeah.
Good.
But in my time here, I've really enjoyed just exploring everything. So I've done all the music things. I've also done the solar car program, the community service. So I just really like to explore everything and see what I like.
Yeah, if any of our listeners haven't heard the name Michael Adelui or Sebastian Gonzalez go around town, you have been living under a rock. Mm-hmm. Not really, but these kids really are invested in a lot of things in the district. I know every time our department gets a good story that comes across from the high school, these kids are in some way, it's like 3 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Exactly.
These guys are somehow intertwined with something that's great that's going on campus. Tell us a little bit about some of the organizations or the things that you've done just in your last 4 years here at Greenville High School, programs, things like that.
Yeah, so mainly I'm involved in a lot of robotics. I do Vex robotics, which is like the small little metal robots. Uh-huh. I do FRC robotics, which is like the really big one out in the CT building where it says Home of the Robo Wranglers.
Okay.
And I'm also involved in some service activities too. I'm in Key Club and Interact Club and National Honor Society.
Wow, that's awesome. Sebastian?
Yeah, so I'm heavily involved with the band program. I started in the 6th grade, and I've been the drum major for the past 3 years. I also did the Suzuki Strings program for about 10 years. And on the engineering side, I've done the solar car program with Iron Lions for about 4 years. I'm serving as the captain this year. And then on the community service side, I've been lucky to be the president of the Key Club for 2 years now. And I'm also in the student council, the Interact Club, National Honor Society. And I've been lucky to serve on the Superintendent Advisory Council.
Awesome.
So I've gotten to work closely with our superintendents, and that's been really rewarding experience.
Absolutely. And I'll even make the comment that all of those programs that these two have been in are not just programs that we have at the high school, but they're award-winning programs at like national levels, global levels. I know you were talking about FRC. I know we, like you said, Home of the Robo Wranglers. That isn't just a statement that we say, but it really is because we house national and worldwide champions here at the high school when we build those robots and perform. And it's all student-led. Student drivers, student coaches, all of those things. So that's really neat. And then, like Sebastian said, we are, is it 7-time national champions?
Yeah, that's correct.
And solar car. 7 times in a row. 7 years in a row.
So I'm curious, Michael, do you like to tinker with things at home with the robotics? Or are you thinking, well, let me see if I can make this work a little bit better?
I do most of my like tinkering with the robot at school. We have like a lot of after school meetings, so I
Right.
go like a little late. On my own free time though, I do like to do like my own projects with like Arduino and just like programming in general.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Good.
That's
And how about you,
awesome.
Sebastian? Anything solar going on at your house?
Not necessarily. I think I do most of my work at the school. I
He
did take a broken solar panel home one time and try to mess with it, but just ended up with a little
he,
spark, and that was about the end of
he actually bakes his apple pies in a solar powered oven. So that's what
it.
makes them so good. No, that's awesome. I like we said, knowing that you guys are heavily involved in so much, and not only heavily involved, but are performing at such a high level, and we get to sit across from you and call you the valedictorian and salutatorian. That's a pretty big honor that you guys have.
Mhm.
And first off, I don't think we have said it yet, but congratulations.
Congratulations.
That's a huge accomplishment that you guys have been able to garner over these past 4 years. So tell us a little bit, how did you guys manage being so involved in all of these things and getting all of your work done at a great level? What was kind of your philosophy behind all of that?
Yeah, so obviously it was kind of hard to balance everything,
Sure.
but the way I look at it is I kind of divided my schedule up. So a normal day for me starts at about 5 in the morning. I get up, I get ready for school and everything, get my things packed, and then I'll drive up here. And most mornings I'm up here for a band at like 6:30 or so, and that takes up my morning. And then later in the day, my academics takes place in the middle of the day, I would say, and that's when I have my core classes. And then in the afternoons, I'm either doing solar car or something else. But um, it's just been one of those things where you have to kind of divide it up. There's a lot
Mhm.
of afternoons where I'm at an activity, but I also have my laptop out and I'm working on doing an assignment. This weekend, I went on a conference, and in the lobby, in my free time, I was just typing up an essay
Oh
or
wow.
things like
Mhm.
that. So that's just kind of how it flows. But it's been really fun, regardless.
Good, Michael.
Yeah, so I don't wake up nearly as early as Sebastian.
I don't blame you.
I get to school around second period, so that's like 9 o'clock ish. And so yeah, most of my schoolwork, I try to do during the day, during time like home period, or just like during my robotics periods when I'm not doing anything else.
Sure.
Robotics runs pretty late. Usually, whenever we have Vex, that's from like 4 to 6 ish, and then FRC is like 6 to like 9 or 10. So I try to just catch up on my work on days that we don't have meetings, and a lot of it's done like during Saturdays and Sundays where I'm
Mhm.
just like free and have
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. I think that's another big thing you guys will probably cherish later on in your adult life, but just being able to be responsible about how you manage your time is such a big deal. So
Mhm.
you guys are already mastering it at such a young age. You guys won't have a problem when you're in college and in your careers and things like that.
It's great. Let's go back a little bit farther. Let's start talking who impacted you. Tell us about a teacher that made a lasting impression.
So I would say back at Crockett Elementary School, my tag teacher, Miss Taylor, she inspired me a lot when I was like younger. Like a lot of the skills we learned in tag and like a lot of the experiences that we had, that really like just helped shape me as a person too. I remember doing like the like little logic puzzles that like just worked my brain and got me like thinking about like logically how to like solve problems, how to like think through problems. So I would say big shout out to Miss Taylor. Don't know where she is now, but she was an awesome teacher.
Go, Miss Taylor.
Go, Miss Taylor, for sure.
Sebastian, what about you?
I would say somebody who's inspired me at the school. There's multiple people I can think of, but somebody that has really helped me out is Dr. Omby, Matt Omby, the director of bands here. He's just kind of really immersed me into the program, and he knows that what I want to do later involves music. So he's just kind of made sure that I'm prepared for college. So he's given me some extra help. But on top of that, he's just one of those compassionate leaders who always looks at every side of things. And to me, that's really helped me out because that's inspired me in how I conduct myself in every aspect of my life, in that kind of servant leadership way. So I would say he's been a really big mentor for me, and I have lots of appreciation for him.
That's good. I don't want to spoil a little bit later in the episode, but I'm glad that you hinted kind of on. I think a lot of times both of you talked about it. These teachers, they come in and they kind of inspire something inside of us, whether it's to pursue something as a career or to, like you said, Michael, realize that, hey, this is going to help me a lot later in life. I may be in fourth or fifth grade doing these logic puzzles, but later on down the road, well, if Mary didn't have XYZ, she can have
Mhm.
XYZ. So I think that that's really important that we get to learn that you guys get to learn some of these things that help kind of kickstart inside of you what you want to do, or be able to be applicable past high school. That's really cool. I want to talk about kind of your experience at the high school. What is something that, from, if you're looking back at yourself now all the way to freshman year, something that you didn't expect to be such a big deal as senior year? You know, whether it's, hey, as I was a freshman, I didn't realize that the 4 years would go so quickly, or I didn't realize that this was going to be so interesting. What's kind of something, as you reflect back from you as a freshman, freshman Michael, freshman Sebastian, that now as a senior you look back and you go, wow, I didn't realize that this was going to be such a big thing?
Yeah, like as you mentioned earlier, like realizing that these 4 years go by quick, that I did
Mhm.
not realize like at all. Like these 4 years just flew by like in an instant.
Mm-hmm.
And I think another thing that I didn't realize would be like how involved I would be. Coming into high school, I didn't expect to be like in so many extracurriculars, be like so active, always up here at the school, working on like one project or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really thankful for that, though. I'm really grateful that I did join all those activities, especially robotics, and that I just like committed all my time to like really a lot of memories I've just made along the way.
Sure. Sebastian?
One thing I didn't expect was that I was going to meet so many different people. When I came in, I was kind of introverted. I wasn't exactly the most social, not in a rude way, but I kind of, kept to myself. I did my work and things like that. But I didn't know at the end of 4 years, I would have made so many lasting connections with all sorts of people, be it adults, mentors, administrators, my peers. And now I'm at the point where I feel like I know everybody everywhere I see. So, that's something I didn't expect at all. If somebody 4 years ago would have told me that I would have an easy time going up and giving a speech, or that frequently I would be going and meeting new people I'd never talked to before and feel comfortable doing it, I would have probably laughed at you. But that's been something I didn't expect at all.
I love to hear that. That makes me feel so good that it's, as you started, you would have never thought, I'm going to be a leader. In the next 4 years, I will develop into a leader. And you guys accomplished that. And it's great.
Yeah, hats off to our high school teachers for helping, our students as they come in ninth grade realize their potential and getting to watch them see that potential nurture over the 4 years that they have them. That's great. That's great. So, kind of on that same notion, was there a class that you, going into high school, I know in middle school you're always talking about, oh, big high school, I'm nervous, I'm scared. But was there a class, whether it was coming from middle school to high school, or from ninth to 10th, or 10th to 11th, or 11th to 12th grade, that you were looking at and you're like, that class is going to be so daunting and I'm going to be nervous for that class, but it turned out to actually be a class that you actually really enjoyed?
Yeah, so for me, I would say that would be the dual credit English class. Um, when I came into high school, I know my writing was at a certain level, and I thought it was the most advanced thing ever, right? So, but then when I got to junior year English with Miss Jones, I realized there was a whole other level of writing out there that I wasn't even close to. So, that's something that was kind of daunting at first, but luckily she made it such an easy experience and she guided us. And now writing is one of the things I enjoy the most. And I didn't think that would be the case. And it's really helped me because I think it's so valuable to be able to communicate effectively, whether it's through writing or speaking. But um, that's one of those classes where I came in and I looked at the level of essay that was expected and I was just kind of shocked. But luckily, I didn't have a terrible time in there and I've actually come to really enjoy it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Michael?
The most unexpected class I had, I would say, is sophomore year of chemistry.
Okay.
It was definitely an experience of all time. I came into it expecting like really, really like daunting work. And Miss Rala, she made class really fun. That's all I can say. She made like every day feel like a sitcom. I would come in and
Oh, that's great.
something new and exciting would happen. And
That's great.
I would just observe and watch. Anyway, but it was a fun class.
That sounds fun.
So it was definitely the most unexpected class I had though.
I may have to re-enroll in chemistry.
I'm
Is she
thinking,
still teaching chemistry?
No, she's not.
No, no.
Unfortunately.
What's she teaching now?
I don't know.
so as I'm hearing you guys say that, I'm thinking back, I'm answering that question in my head. And I just think about, for you guys, math and algebra, geometry, that's easy, correct? That's easy classes for you guys. And I remember sitting in those classes when I was in high school, eons ago, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get through this. So great job, Miss Taylor or Miss Jones and Miss Rollins.
It's Miss Rala.
Risrala.
Risrala.
Good
There you
job.
go. Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome. So let's talk about as we're gearing up for graduation, which is just in, as we're recording this episode right now, we're about 4 or so weeks out. I'm sure these guys probably know an exact number in their head, but as far as how far out are we? Do you know?
I think it's is it 18 school days and 25 actual days? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he knows.
How many minutes?
So we are gearing up for graduation. What's the one thing that you guys are most excited about for getting to kind of put your seal on the end of the 4 years at the high school?
I think I'm ready in the sense of like finishing out high school. I'm kind of ready to wrap up some of the work I've done in my extracurriculars um, on the leadership side. So, something I'm excited for is just kind of leaving preparations for whoever steps into the roles next and leaving them with some sort of guidebook or something that they can use. And also just with messages and knowledge that the members in those activities could use going forward to kind of leave a mark on them that hopefully, it's a lesson that they can take with them for their entire
Mhm.
lives.
Mhm.
I'm really just excited for like all of the end of the year like senior activities, like the like what is it called? The like the project graduation and like prom and all like the really memorable ones you'll keep with you like in the future. Really just excited to just like experience those and like live those ones up too.
Yeah, if I could offer any piece, just really soak those memories in.
Yes.
They're things that you'll look back on as, you'll be 70 years old, sitting drinking coffee and thinking about that one time in prom when we did, had all that fun and project graduation when I walked home with a new TV or fridge or whatever it was that you win at project graduation. So yeah, really cherish those moments. Cool. Well, what's something that you've learned about yourself? We talked about, I think this is a good self-reflection opportunity, but something from when you were 5 years old and you wanted to be an astronaut in space to now when you're a senior about to graduate, what's something along that course of education that you've learned about yourself? I'll be the first to tell you I learned about myself that I need to be very adamant about doing things right then and there. Because if I don't, then I'll just keep pushing them off, keep pushing them off. But that's something as a senior that I had known that I learned for myself that I needed to get it done then and there when I said I wanted to do it done. So, what's something you guys learned?
Yeah, so I would say something I've learned from the time I was in elementary school to now is that there's really great value in helping others. I think as you go on through school, and especially Michael and I, since we were always kind of academically ahead, we had the advantage of being able to help our peers with some of their work or in extracurricular, since we were kind of in charge in some places, we were able to help others. But the older I got, the more I realized how important it was to make sure that whatever I did was always people oriented. So, making sure that the outcome of anything I did involved helping somebody else. I think that's something that over the years I've kind of learned, and it's come to be really valuable, and it's paid off in many ways.
That's awesome. Michael?
Yeah, something I learned is like this one quote I've heard. It's like the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. That basically, if you want to achieve something or you want to start something, you have to take that first step towards it. I remember like my first step towards robotics was back in like 5th grade. I saw my sister doing it. And I was really intrigued, and I decided to go to the tryouts, go do like see how it went, and I just like became involved, like so involved into robotics. So really, just exploring new things wasn't something like I thought I would be so into, but that's definitely something I learned about myself is that I love exploring new things and taking like that first step towards like new journeys.
That's good.
That's good. I love that. I'm going to step out here for a second and just say thank you to the both of you for being involved in service activities. And as you just said about helping other people, that's one of the greatest gifts that we can do is help someone else. And so thank you for doing that.
Yeah, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the future. What are your dreams and aspirations beyond high school?
So I'm going to university to study computer science, and my dream job is to be a software engineer at some I don't know like big tech company somewhere, living like in a skyrise or something.
There.
But realistically, though, I do want to be like a software engineer and just live somewhere that's like fun and exciting to like
That's
just
cool.
go out and like live and explore.
Where did you say you wanted to go to university at?
I'm going to University of Texas at Austin.
Okay, you're going to be a Longhorn.
Yeah.
Texas Longhorn. All right. Sebastian?
Yeah, so I'm going to be going to Texas A&M University Commerce in the fall for music education. So my long-term career goal is to be in educational leadership. So my dream job would be superintendent of schools or
Oh,
something at a
there you
public school
go.
district. But obviously for education, you have to kind of take the first steps up the ladder and everything. So starting out of college, I'll do a band director. I'll be a band director for a few years, and then hopefully get into an admin position like principal or something, and then work on my graduate degrees and everything to eventually do superintendent.
That's awesome. That's really exciting. I know both of you guys. I know you said realistically I would want to do this, but let me tell you, with the type of students that you guys are and just the personalities you carry and the heart for people and things like that, you guys can sit here and say realistically, and you could tell us anything. You could tell me that you want to punt a football across the moon, and I would not have a shadow of a doubt that either of you
Exactly.
could figure it out.
Exactly.
So you guys are really, really, I think anything you put your mind to.
Right. I'm sitting here thinking I'm going to see Michael going to space, and I'm going to see Sebastian leading the symphony in New York City.
That's right. Superintendent of the year. That's what Sebastian's going to get. Yeah, I'm excited for it. So living in a skyrise, huh?
Yeah.
In the middle of a big city.
Dallas.
I think he's thinking more like New York, something of that nature. Well, that's good. That's good. How do you guys attribute things that you've learned here at Greenville ISD, whether it's people that you've encountered or classes that you've taken or experiences that you've had? How do you feel like you'll contribute that to your career? I know, Sebastian, it may be pretty easy because you talked about it earlier, how, working alongside such great leaders like Dr. Owenby kind of inspired your passion, but maybe there's other things that you guys have done at GISD or things that you've learned or seen that have really inspired you to be what you want to do in your career.
Yeah, so I would say the biggest thing, and I did kind of talk about it earlier, has been the educators and administrators that I've gotten to um, be their students or work alongside with. Which I think number one, that's a unique thing we have here in GISD because I don't know how many other school districts or students can say that they have direct contact with their superintendents or with their upper admin. So I think that's something really unique and it's something that has served us well because in my case, that's what I want to do later in life. So, and I can also think of going into education. I don't just want to do it, but I want to kind of take a new approach to it or an innovative approach and make sure that my classroom is always on the cutting edge of things. So, I will give a shout out to Mr. Cronky, Mr. Pitts, and Chef Kiowski with the solar car program for teaching me about that because their courses are really around, or they work around the whole project-based learning concept. And to me, that's something that can be applied in any subject, not just engineering or culinary or automotive. And so as I step into music education, which is a whole different side of teaching that's not CTE, I think about how I can implement project-based learning into that to make an impact on whatever students I ever have. So that's something or an assortment of things about this district that are unique and I think have molded that.
That's awesome. I love that.
Mhm.
Michael?
Yeah, going off what Sebastian said, I think definitely like the mentors in our robotics program have definitely like inspired me a lot too. And like the all the things that they taught me and the way they've taught me to actually like learn and receive information, I think is something I want to carry along with me in my career too, as like move forward and like mentor other students, other adults, other like peers in like my workplace or
Yeah,
just in general. And that sort of like mentorship attitude is something I really want to carry with me.
that's good. I like that a lot. I
I
like
like
that a
that
lot.
too. Okay, let's hear some of the fun little stories. Tell us something outside of the classroom, one of your greatest memories.
So I think like a highlight of my year every single year is our robotics trips. And I think my favorite one would be my junior one last year for FRC, where we went there, we placed third in the world. And just like the vibes, the whole team culture, like everyone being so excited about it. I think that's probably my favorite, like out of class memory.
That's awesome. Sebastian?
Yeah, so in in these past 4 years, I think something I've learned is to enjoy the unenjoyable, and it's a phrase that I tell everybody, and they kind of look at me like I'm crazy, right? Because how can I enjoy being out in the 110-degree sun for 8 hours a day with solar car? But it actually has paid off, and now that I look back on it, those are the memories I cherish the most. So I would say my favorite memory has been was a solar car race last year. It was cross country out to Palmdale, California. And there's something very special about spending about 2 weeks with a group of other students that you've worked with for months to build a project that you see on the road now, which is the solar car. And to spend 2 weeks out in the hot sun, it's like 115 degrees outside in the middle of West Texas, and you're broken down on the side of the road, and um, you're trying to replace an axle or a tire. And there's something about that that just kind of leaves an impression on people. And that's something I really cherish because it highlighted our team strength,
Right.
and it kind of showed me the importance of unity among others when there's a problem. And so, aside from the actual fun of traveling and seeing new places and being out in the mountains in West Texas, so I would say that's been a really or my favorite memory over
That's
these past
good.
4 years.
That's good.
That's good. Let's talk about the technical things. Do you guys have your speeches written for graduation?
I do not have mine written.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
No.
I have an idea on what I'd like to do, but I don't know how much time we have or what
Yeah,
the
time's just like
outline is.
flying by,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize it was so close. So
I have to
it's gonna be
type
like a
those
little
out.
later thing.
That's okay. I'm sure it'll be great, whatever it is.
It will be.
I'm sure it'll be great, whatever it is. Well, as we kind of wrap up the end of this episode, I want you guys to kind of give us some advice for any students that are kind of following in your path to graduate in 2025, 2026, and so on. As students listen to you guys talk about your experiences, I know that they're excited about either coming to high school or getting to their senior year. But what is a piece of advice that you would leave for future Greenville ISD seniors or Greenville ISD students as a whole? What's a one piece of advice that you'd leave them?
I think for Greenville ISD students in general, just get involved with like the school, with the extracurricular activities, with your community, like the people you'll learn and like the experiences you'll gain really just make you like a better person in general. And those memories and experiences you'll carry with you for like the rest of your life. Like all the things that you've experienced and done in high school, like those extracurricular activities, those like all these activities can make like your high school years really memorable. So I would say get involved as much as you can and just really cherish those memories too.
That's good. That's good. Sebastian?
Yeah, I would say the advice I would leave for, and this can apply to any GISD student, regardless of age, is that kindness and compassion, especially, go a long way. And a lot of people don't understand that those terms can apply to anything, any endeavor you take on. So, whether it's an extracurricular or a class or lunch or a class change or anything you're involved in, if you remember that sometimes we have to look at somebody and say, I wonder what it would be like to take a walk in their shoes. That can really change your experience because now everything you do, like I said, will be people centered. And just the way you conduct yourself and the things you do will be a lot more worthwhile if those are values that you keep in mind.
That's great. That's great. I think both of you guys are wise beyond your years. I think that you guys both have a great head on your shoulders. I'm excited to watch your careers, your education, your careers, all of those things blossom from this point forward. And so I know that us as a department, us as a team, us as a district are excited to be able to watch you guys go forward. I know that we are going to miss you guys here on campus and the district, getting to cover all of those great things. But we're more than that, we're excited to watch all of you, all the things that you guys are going to do, because I know that we firmly believe both of you guys and anyone else that are like-minded like you will change the world one day. So whether you're the president of the United States, you're on space, you're running Greenville ISD, which I think, Sebastian, you in about a couple of years, you want to come back and come work in
Dr.
Greenville ISD.
Gonzalez.
Yeah,
And
I
then we're going to have Michael over there being like, Elon who?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I know that we're excited for that. So I just want to say thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you for getting to tell us a little bit about yourself, getting some insight on your philosophy and all the great things that you guys have going on in your mind. So we want to say thank you for that. We want to say congratulations on this huge accomplishment. We're looking forward to graduation day to watch you guys walk that stage, give your speeches that you haven't written yet, but that you're going to go right here shortly. And so we're excited to watch all that going. So we want to say thank you and congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we'll see y'all on graduation day.